Hey, Flooring Pros. I'm Jerry Levinson, and this is the Flooring Business Podcast, where we talk to expert flooring dealers, suppliers, marketing experts, software experts, and anyone I believe is going to help you in your flooring business. Now, my mission is to give you good information that's going to help you reach your goals. So if you're just starting your business, or you're trying to reach 5 million in sales, or you're ready to sell your business, you're going to find useful information that'll help you reach your goals and profit now in the flooring industry. The Flooring Business Podcast is sponsored by FloorZap for the best flooring business operating system and website in the industry. Now, in this week's episode, I'm talking to Tess Madden. How are you doing, Tess?
I'm great. Thank you, Jerry, for having me on.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. You were saying you have 10 years or 17 years in the industry, right? Or no, 27 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's the only 32-year-old with 27 years in the industry.
Thank you.
10 years as an RSA and 17 years as a rep.
Yeah.
I never liked the RSA because I never really knew. I have to think about what an RSA is. Like that just doesn't roll off the tongue. But
what do you call retail sales?
Well, it's a retail sales associate, but I don't think of the retail sales associate as a RSA. They're a salesperson.
Okay.
No, it's okay. That's the term for it, but it's funny.
Well, we have different lingo, right? Because you're on that side and I'm on this side. So.
Well, I'm actually newer to the industry, so I've been doing this for about 7-8 years now, and I haven't been in it my whole life. So some of that terminology that, it's like any acronym, you got to look it up sometimes. Some people throw out acronym. Like you got to look up LOL when you started.
Oh, there's a lot of those I have to look up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you're going to be opening up. You were for 10 years, you were an RSA, and 17 years, you're a rep for 2 different companies.
Yeah.
Is it okay to mention the companies?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Mohawk, right?
Mohawk in Arizona.
In what?
In Arizona.
In Arizona. Okay, good. My stomping ground. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
Stanton Carpet.
Stanton. Okay,
on
good.
The West Coast.
Stanton, I love that line of carpet.
Love Stanton.
Yes. Do you remember the carpet broker?
No.
Okay. So he did carry the Stanton line and he had a circular display in his showroom. And I bought out the carpet broker. I just bought his assets and he was going out of business. So that was one of the displays. It's like, do you want this? I'm like, it's too big of a footprint. I can't put it anywhere in my showroom. I mean, the carpets were gorgeous that were on there, but I couldn't take that display.
That display was not ours. It was an original Kane display. And a lot of people just kept that display and put our products and Kane on there.
Oh, okay.
It was gigantic.
Yeah. That thing was huge. But the things that were on the material, the carpet that was on there was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So really high end. Now my son's carrying Fabrica, which is the best line of carpet that he's carrying as far as a high end carpet. We
will have to get someone in there to talk to him.
I mean, it's really helping sell Tough Techs, which was the next high end. I was telling you that the other day. It's, if you don't have something really high end, that really high end, nice luxury item does help position your other products and where you can sell them at a better margin and not have to give a bigger discount, but it really ups your average ticket as a whole.
It helps the consumer justify the purchase. So if you show them something very, very high end and then go to the product that's right for their environment, that would make them the happiest, then, they can step what they consider, move off a little from Fabrica and go to Tough Techs and be extremely happy and not have to settle for something low end.
Yeah. Look, guys, what we want to do in this episode is we want to talk about the relationship between the manufacturer sales rep and with you as a flooring dealer, and how do you make the most out of that relationship? And so it's not contentious, it's not a battle, but it's basically a free business partner to you, somebody that can help you grow your business. And in that post, well, this is where you and I connected, was in the post that I created. I tell people that when you're going, it's show season. So when you go to services and when you go to all these shows, I always have my goals and I made copies of them. So I would give them to the sales rep and the managers and anybody who was in there that can help me with my business. And that's where I ask for certain specials, certain deals. I ask for additional co-op money, and I challenge them to say, this is where I'm going. How can you help me get there faster?
Absolutely. That's ideal.
Yeah. How often has anything like that happened? Have you had anybody come to you with your goals and with their goals?
Absolutely not. You have to drag it out of them usually. And it just would save everyone time and time, right? So if you want to get to your goals faster, you need to partner up and you need to, let everybody know. Who cares if somebody knows what your goals and aspirations are? Good for you for getting it out there, and the universe will bring to you the people that you need.
There's a little short clip from Steve Harvey recently that talked about, having your goals and who do you share your goals with? And you share your goals with the people least likely to believe that you're going to achieve those goals. So if your mother thinks that you can't do it, share it with your mother, because she's not in your world. She doesn't know what you're capable of. And so you need to be bold and share those goals. And I teach people, when you set those goals, you share them with everybody in the company, you share them with your family, you do share them with the universe. But especially, people fail to look at it this way. The supplier is your business partner.
Absolutely. Yes. Your success is our success.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone to him for many things. I've gone to him, even I've got a mentor that talks about it. He's in the golf business and he's gone to his supplier for a loan. Now, I've never gone to my supplier for a loan, but I have had times where I was having trouble financially and I went to them for a note. So I told them to take my account. I might have a 30,000-40,000 in back payments and say, hey, can you turn this into a note so I can keep going? And as long as the communication and all that's there, this isn't something that they're going to advertise or broadcast that they can do. But even if you're creative, if you come up with the idea and the plan, many times they'll work with you.
There is no mill out there that will not work with you. Something is better than nothing. And to open those lines of communication, let's say you owe them, I don't know, $5,000 or whatever. If you say, you know what, I'm in a strap right now for a cash flow. Can I send you 500? The line of communication is open and they'll say, yes, that'd be great. Can I contact you in 2 weeks or whatever? So yeah, as long as you give them something and you take their call.
Yeah, it was always this time of year too. Well, December, when I would make a call to them and say, hey, business is slowing down. And so we're going to be paying you a little bit slower right now. So we might get a little bit behind. Don't shut me off. Don't stop sending out my stuff. And because I want to make sure I continue getting materials and continue getting products so I can get cash flow going. But again, I've never really had them shut me down or anything like that.
Well, you know what else happens, Jerry? If you don't leave the lines of communication open, then the rep loves their dealer, loves them, will do anything for them. But if you can't communicate, you're not taking the calls, they get a little bit scared, and they love also their company. So, they might call the company and say, look, I'm having a little bit of trouble contacting this dealer. They owe us some money, as you know. Think we need to put them on PBD, pay before delivery. So you also don't want that to happen if you know you can turn your things around. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did you look at it when you're representing the mill? Not who were you loyal to? Because because that almost sets up a position where you're not loyal to the other one. But But people do look at it that way. It's like my dealer comes first or my company comes first. I mean, you've got a little dance there that you've got to perform to satisfy both masters. So
Well, absolutely, yes. And it's my job as a rep to to help the dealer feel like it's not this overwhelming big entity corporation that is trying to rule his life. So, trying to make it a little bit more intimate. And, like we do care about them because your rep does.
Yeah.
Maybe the company looks at you as a number. I don't know how the corporate works. I just know how, the rep world works. And we are your advocate. We care about your business. We care about you. If you're not healthy, your business is not healthy, and we care about all of your salespeople.
So, and I pass this part up. I want to get into this too. You're starting your own company, Maiden Enterprises?
Madden.
Enterprises, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
And had you already launched it?
No, it's launching mid-February, maybe.
Okay, so you'll be able to be an independent rep for many different brands,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So not only many different flooring brands, but if people want to expand their operations, and what I want to have this conversation too. I was going to talk to Buddy about this as well, but it just seems like there's a point of growth. Like if you have 2 showrooms, you can get to $6, $7, $8 million, and then you kind of max it out when it comes to residential retail and flooring. Now, it seems like you'd have to carry some additional products, such as window coverings or countertops or cabinets. Countertops are great from what I've seen. People really grow their business. But you might have to carry additional products. You can help the dealer do that, right?
If I'm into cabinets, I can help him grow his cabinet line. If I pick up a line as wallpaper, I can help them do that. It really depends on what I carry. I'm not going to try to be an expert in something that I have no knowledge of.
Okay. And then you're not limited to your location. What part of the country are you in now?
Southern Washington, right on the border of Oregon.
As you build your business, are you looking for local clients, or will you be opening it up to more of a national brand?
Okay, so I think maybe we talked about that yesterday and I misunderstood your question. To physically call on them, it would be Washington and Oregon. And, with my flooring rep, my blog, that could definitely go national. And so if anybody needs any help, as reaching out to a rep that's not their rep to get some help, get some answers, get some guidance, then I'm here for anyone.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. If somebody's brand new to the industry, one of the things that's hard is getting set up with a supplier. So what advice would you give somebody that's brand new in trying to get set up with accounts with major brands like Mohawk, Shaw? So because those brands are usually protected from bigger companies who don't want them to open up, new competition here around the corner.
I did not ever find that to be the case, but if you did have a big dealer that was, giving you nice revenue and somebody down the street wanted to open, that is very tricky because the supplier wants you to open everyone. And so let's say if I was with Mohawk, my Mohawk manager would say to me, is Shaw in there? And I would say, yes, but, and he'd say, there's no buts. If Shaw's in there, does your other dealer carry Shaw? Yes, but no buts. Fair game is fair game. So that's one way to look at it. However, if you're going to open that person, because we're Mohawk is competing with Shaw, then maybe you can offer them something that your big supplier doesn't carry. so that there's no conflict. And then you certainly never cross over pricing.
So, okay, and this is in my list of questions, private labeling. What's your thoughts and opinions on private labels?
I don't think they even matter. If people are going to shop, they're just going to shop. They'll ask you for a swatch, they'll ask you for a sample. They'll go to another store. When I was a sales associate, I won't say RSA. When I was in sales, if somebody called me and said, what is your price on blah, blah, blah. I would say, we really don't give price over the phone. If you'd like to come in, I'd be happy to show you, because that is really simply a race to the bottom price. And I never played that game. So private labeling, the only thing that's going to deter is nobody can give them a price when they call around.
Yeah.
So, but if
So
they take,
I teach people in sales training how to answer the question.
I'm sorry.
I teach people during sales training how to answer that question. So
What do
when
you
somebody calls and says, how much do you charge for this product, whatever, say, oh, okay, sure. Tell me about your project. What are you working on?
Yeah.
Because asking a price question isn't them shopping around. It's just a normal first question for a lot of people to ask, a lot of customers. So I often say,
if they have a product in mind,
yeah,
they've already spent a couple of hours with a sales associate somewhere else.
that's true, but still understanding their project, because there's so much more that goes into it than just the material costs. But it's in training, you can navigate them away from that, navigate them to the proper conversation and make it more about their house, what they're doing, decorating. In most cases, in some cases, it is a price shopping, and that's what they're looking for. And that's probably not a customer you're going to get anyway.
Exactly.
But, I've always argued that when somebody has a private label, the thinking behind it is they won't be able to shop you in price. And my argument's always been, well, so you've got a customer that doesn't like you and doesn't like the price, but feels like they have to buy from you to get that product. That's a ridiculous thought to think that they're stuck buying from you because they can't find this anywhere else. Nobody's going to do business with you when they don't like you or the price, but just feel like they've got to buy that product because they can only get it from you. I mean, maybe that happens on a very rare occasion. So,
yeah,
but in most cases, they're going to shop around anyway.
Yes,
maybe for the same product or something similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I've never bought into the private label business.
Well, if you don't sell them on yourself, then you just don't have the sale. So if you don't sell them on yourself, and I mean sell them on the fact that you actually care about their project, then you just don't have the sale anyway. They're looking for someone to partner with as well, right? So mills are for dealers to partner with, and consumers are looking for dealers to partner with.
Now, let me ask you, because I in general don't do PK sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Because reps tend to talk about how the product was manufactured, not how to sell the product.
I've heard that.
So what's your approach to a PK session or showing products?
A PK session is, I tell the pros of the product, the cons of the product, the environment in which this product is acceptable, where this product is not acceptable, and how maybe to sell it, how to position yourself to be able to sell it. And it's not just, you can't just sell price, especially if it's high end.
Yeah.
You're not price, you're selling a project, you're selling a lifestyle.
Yeah, Mohawk drove me nuts with their latest display, because they created the most gorgeous display, but it said nothing about fashion and style. It was all about durability. And the carpet they had a description of the carpet. Here is the ugly brown polyester, and they were showing you how their ugly brown Smart Strand held up better than the ugly brown polyester did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all 4 samples were ugly. So it was like, this is the worst demonstration that I've seen of a display. You put all this money into this display to show about stain resistance when
Mhm.
you don't have customers looking for a carpet that's stain resistant. They're looking
Well,
for.
I think that sounds like they're competing, they're trying to compete with hard surface and the LVP. You
Right.
know, they're trying to compete with that, I think. So it's not a competition because they're different animals. That's like an orange trying to compete with an egg. They just, it's silly.
Well, Shaw had a similar presentation, but they showed, here's our carpet, beautiful carpet, a big sample. Here's what it looks like brand new, and here's what it looked like in 5 years.
Mm,
And it was a great display. You
that
You
was good.
rub your hand across it, and it just physically in every way, it was Bolera. It was a great presentation. One of the best presentations, and we sold the hell out of Bolera after we
Yeah.
got that display. And it was funny because they did an update on it, and I'm like, you're not changing this display, because they were taking those samples out and putting them up here instead of down here where people rub their hands on it. And I'm like, oh hell no, we're selling the hell out of this as it is, and I'm not changing this. It's working. Why would you change it?
And see how the demonstration affected you as, a person that wanted to buy that product. So I think as far as PKs go, demonstration is also super important. I do stain tests on everything that I would carry, whether it's wool or nylon or polyester or polypropylene. I did stain tests on them. And then I also did wear tests on them. And I carried those things in my car. And inevitably, someone would beg me to keep that. So I'd have to do it again. And then I post them online and I tell all my dealers, and that's part of the PK is what you can expect when this accident happens.
The stain tests are cool, but when I first got into the business, I didn't know anything about it. So I just listened to customers as they walked in and as they worked with the salespeople. And I never heard a customer look for a stain resistant carpet, which all of them had those features anyway. So it was a byproduct of the feature, but it starts off with looks and then feel. After that, then we could talk about some of those benefits. But if they don't like the way it looks and feels, then all the stain resistance in the world is not going to matter.
Oh, it all boils down to color. That's true.
Yeah.
And then, the look of the carpet. But what I meant maybe by that was this is going to happen. They're going to call you in a week after their child or whoever spilled something on their rug. And they're going to want to know how to get it out. And they're going to want to know what to expect. Where they don't know anything about what's going on or, what they can expect over the lifetime of the carpet. So those are the questions. They tell you what they want. I want something that's, in the gray tones or in the beige tones or, things like that. And then they tell you, you ask them, where's it going? Who lives in the house? How many pets do you have? And then if you're in Oregon, it rains every day. So you have to think about that.
So, let me ask you this question. There's dealer alignments, and this was part of the conversation on that same thread. What is the benefits of aligning with a fabricator?
Well, I've seen customers align with both Mohawk and Shaw. So you think that you're getting the best of what they have to offer. So you think you're getting the best price. You think you're getting the best, possibly some kind of a built-in on your price and then a rebate at the end of the year. There's all kinds of perks that they offer you to align with them in hopes that they can take up more of a footprint in your store.
Yeah, I did align with both. And the reason I did is I was a Hunter Douglas gallery dealer. And there's a huge benefit of alignment with Hunter Douglas. But Hunter Douglas markets their brand. And so I was sorely disappointed when I got in this industry to find out that Mohawk and Shaw don't market their brands. So consumers aren't looking for them the same way they were looking for Hunter Douglas products. I believe in the relationship and in having that alignment. I was able to get more co-op money, able to ask more things. I believe in the relationship. So I did make the commitment. I did do the alignment with them. I even looked at a buying group at one point and recommend buying groups for people, but it wasn't for me. So I could do a better job marketing, and the buying group didn't hold any benefits for me.
Yeah.
But if you're starting out, you're new, you should definitely investigate it and see if it's right for you. But the alignment, Mohawk and Shaw both have done a majorly piss poor job at explaining the benefits of alignment. And even so, where Mohawk at one of their shows set up a booth and for this purpose, and I was excited about that. So I went up to her and talked. After an explanation, I still couldn't really tell you what those bullet points were, what those benefits were.
Now, do you mean being a private label dealer with them? Like, because when I was with Mohawk, they had 2 private label type of displays. One was Floorscapes and the other one was Color Center.
Yeah,
And,
I think we were a Color Center. I'm not sure which is the bigger one. I think we were Floors. Yeah, so I think we were a Color Center.
Yeah. So that benefit, there's they were trying again, maybe definitely to compete with the CCAs and the Abbeys of the world.
Yeah, and I think Broadloom's giving them all a run for their money right now. So which I'm excited about, and I think it's helping Mohawk and Shaw to step up their game and see this threat and see that they have to get better at what they're doing. And I always thought the thing that a supplier can bring to a customer the most is customers.
Right.
Help us get customers. So help us on the marketing end. And this is what drove me nuts about co-op money too. The way you earn co-op money is by selling somebody's product. But now I have to create an ad and prove to them I'm going to sell your product in order to get my co-op money, which I've already earned by selling your product. So why am I being forced to prove to do something I've already done to earn the co-op money in the first place?
Well, that's how they're getting their message out, is from you. So if you want that co-op money, you have to use their name. That's how they're getting their message out. Yeah.
And Mohawk never brands the Mohawk name. It's all the other things underneath it. And same thing with Shaw. They, hardly anybody ever came in looking for Shaw carpet or Mohawk carpet or flooring. They were looking for a different brand like Revwood or, what's the high-end Mohawk? It isn't Mohawk, but Karastan. That's one of the top branded names, I think. Actually, of the 5 top branded, somebody told me what the 5 top brands were, and Karastan wasn't in there. I was kind of surprised.
Stanton was for high end.
I can't remember what the 5 were. You think top 5 recognized flooring brands?
Oh, I thought you meant, you're just talking about for high end, they are very big.
Pergo was, but outside the industry. Yeah, Pergo, just as a general brand, flooring, a name that people knew. Stainmaster.
Stainmaster. I don't find that people are looking for Stainmaster anymore. I mean, they make a big deal out of having Stainmaster. But when I was in retail, nobody came in saying, I need to see Mohawk, I need to see Shaw, I need to see Stanton, I need to see Stainmaster, I need to see Wear Dated. Only those people that were involved in that business cared about that.
That's the thing, is people come in generically looking for a product. They're not looking for a brand.
No, and they don't even know, from polyester to nylon to polypropylene to whatever.
Exactly.
The most important conversation is, almost like an interview, but you need to qualify that environment where the product is going to go.
Well, and one thing I tell people is there is no such thing as good carpet that cleans well. I said, people clean well.
It's not self-cleaning, right?
Well, and the point is if you take care of it, if you vacuum it often, it's going to last you forever. If you get a really good quality product and you don't take care of it, no, it's not going to hold up.
But if you do get a good quality product and you feel like you paid, a premium price for it, you tend to take better care of it.
Exactly. Well, one of the tricks I teach people is ask a person, how often do you vacuum? If they say we vacuum all the time, say, oh, well, for you, this is going to last forever.
They don't.
And well, some of them do, some of them are obsessives. And the nice thing is those people will always buy higher end products. But what the trick is to make them feel good about themselves. Oh, for you take good care of your stuff, so this is going to last you forever.
That's a good point. I like that. I'm going to put that in my PK. I like that. Yeah.
Nice little trick.
All right. I'm right here.
So when you're working with, again, the point of the show is really to teach people how to work with the rep. So let's get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
What kind of discussions do you have? Do you ever have that broader business discussion about what their goals are, where they're going? How can you position certain products? How can you help them get there? How often does a flooring dealer give you a better understanding of what they're trying to do?
When I first meet, the first thing I do is pop in, say, hello, here I am. Can I make an appointment? And then during that first appointment, the most important thing to do is find out who they are, what they're thinking, who their customer is, who is their ideal customer. And, then try to narrow down and, definitely can talk about their goals and dreams and visions and where they want to go. And that way I can think in my mind, all the things I have in my bag to offer them, what's going to fit that sweet spot they're talking about. Definitely conversation. Now, do they always tell you? No. So it just takes longer to get there because after time, you find out who they are and who their customers are just by knowing them.
Why do you think that is, that they don't want to share that information with you?
I don't know, because maybe they don't know me or the rep, and they don't quite trust that you're not going to tell everybody else.
Yeah.
And they don't trust that you even know how to help them with their business. They don't know you.
Some people are so guarded with what their goals are, they don't want to let their employees know because they're worried that the employee that's making $70,000 a year is going to be upset because you're trying to get this business to 5 million a year. So you're making all this, and that's not how employees think at all.
No.
So in the same thing, they think maybe that you're going to go off and tell people, and many times they just don't even have goals. So a lot of people don't have that thought out and thought through. Like I said, there's, I think I was probably one of the only ones that ever came to my rep with his goals in hand and said, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. I showed the growth. I showed everything I wanted to have. And I did it every year. I came in, I sat down, and that was the big point of it. You guys are told by your bosses, sell this product, push this product. This is what we're doing. This is our agenda. Yes. And I was saying, well, I'm going to control my own agenda. I'm not going to let them, control the agenda. I'm going to do it based on what I want and what I need. So if it happens to fit in, great, and maybe we work it out so it does fit in. But I want to control the conversation, not walk into it.
Square footage is expensive. And, whether the company wants to let's say they have 10 displays, they want 10 displays in every dealership. That's just the way it is. But you don't want your display in there not producing, because then they're not open to anything else you have to offer. Yeah. So really you have to know what you want to put in there that's going to make sense for them so that you don't close the door in the relationship.
Yeah. If you remember the old Mohawk color wall, one thing that happened, we sold the hell out of Shaw product off their color wall because their color wall consisted tons of colors, all of them available in a 30, 40 or 50 ounce weight. Yeah. And I was asking myself one time, it's like, why aren't we selling more Mohawk? Why are we selling so much Shaw? And it occurred to me that Shaw was easy to sell. it was an easy story to sell. Where the Mohawk color wall, you had 8 different price SKUs, you had different ounce weights. So I got rid of some of the stuff. I created the 3 ounce weights and the 3-tier pricing, and we started selling it.
Yeah.
Because it makes the rep more comfortable, or the salesperson more comfortable, when they can look at a display and they know what the price is. They don't have to look up the price, and find that product and all that. Where their display was very complicated, I dumbed it down and made it simple. I changed the sign. I did all this to help influence behavior and change that game.
That's a really good idea, because salespeople, as a rep, let's say I'm selling one thing. It's a category of things, right? But it's only one thing, carpet. So you have to put a salesperson in a retail store has to know everything about carpet, about wood, about LVP, about tile, about floors, walls. They have a lot up here,
Right.
and it's hard. It's got to be. It's overwhelming. So the simpler that a mill can make it for you, the better off both of us are going to be.
And that's the thing that I think the mills fail to do the most, is make it easy for us to sell your product, and make it easy for us to sell your product for more money. So, everything is complicated, where you got to know all these details. And I'll argue with you that you don't have to know it. And with these people that want to learn about the product, like what's the difference between polyester and not, I could train a person in less than a week on how to sell flooring, and I'm not going to worry about these details. Like, I always show an example. There's 3 products, Pergo, Carnadine, Corlock, and Revwood. All 3 products are made differently, and all 3 products are going to perform exactly the same for a customer. So how those products are manufactured, what does it matter? Why are you going to get into details and things that don't matter, when you can be looking for a style, a color, a look, and decorate and do something great for a customer? And don't tell them what the core is. It's like trying to learn about the engine of a car.
You don't need to overwhelm them with facts either, but knowing it, so that when they have a question, because there's nothing worse than being a salesperson that someone asks you a question and you're like, I don't know, so you just want to make the whole experience for the consumer pleasurable, but you need to have these things back in the back of your mind so that you have confidence in what you're doing.
Right.
Well,
and that's being prepared. It's not, you don't have to know the answer, but if you're prepared to answer it, my answer was always, well, I don't know. I just own the place. Is that my other salespeople are more the experts.
Yeah.
But and the other answer is, well, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Let me find out.
Mm-hmm.
So just being prepared rather than, I'm not sure. I don't know. So yeah, that was the thing is about having a broader business discussion. And how often do you sit down or bring in the territory manager or a bigger boss and really go over things from a business standpoint?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whenever either the boss wants to ride with you, or when the dealer, would like to talk to them. And it's always good to have a second personality, because I had a boss that I would go in and do a PK, and then I would bring him in to do a PK. And our personalities are so different that even if we're saying the same thing, and we are, because we're always on the same page, it's accepted. Maybe the second time where it wasn't heard the first time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It helps to back things up.
Right.
And if the dealer wants to talk about their business, they sometimes want the boss involved.
Okay, so let me talk about this one. How about, and this is all about your relationship with that dealer, right? But when a mistake is made, and the dealer, sometimes it is the dealer's fault, the installer's fault, and sometimes it's the mill's fault. It's always difficult to get credit and go back to a mill, and that process takes a long time. Oftentimes you're not able to be made whole on a job. So, and some people want to argue and dig their heels in, and I need money back on that specific job. I need credit for that specific job. And I try to teach them and tell them, work with your rep to maybe get a discount on something else, just so the money works out, but it doesn't have to be on that specific job.
Sometimes they get stuck because their system pays commission to the salesperson. And if, for whatever reason, the installer maybe measured it wrong, or whoever does the measuring measured it wrong, and they had to buy, 20, 30 more feet to finish the job, that salesperson loses their commission. So
Right.
they want to make their salesperson whole. But, the onus has to go back on whoever made the mistake. I've made so many mistakes ordering 15-foot goods when I measured for 12. Ordering 12-foot goods when I measured for 15, ordering the wrong color because I've had to put down a color number and that way.
Right.
Or at the mill, calling the pricing lady and saying, this person is closing their doors, erase their price list. And I gave her the wrong account number. So,
shoot.
yeah.
Oh my God, what a nightmare that would be.
Yes. Call her back. I'm like, I made a really, really big mistake. Is there any way you can undo something? No, but I'll figure it out for you. So
Yeah, I always said the only time we ever make a mistake is when we get a sale. So,
right. Oh,
and that's one of the things you got to learn to live with is, how do you handle mistakes? What's your process and all that? But also working with the mills. And look, this is the thing too, that frustrates me sometimes, is when dealers get upset at the mills for the mistakes they made. It's like, well, how do you want your customer to treat you when you make a mistake?
that's true.
So swearing at them and throwing a fit doesn't make everything better.
Yeah.
So
I've been lucky. I don't really have those kinds of dealers, maybe one or two in my life.
yeah.
In my
But I've
profession.
always found that there's always a way to get the money that you're deserved. And I will never be beholden to software. I think software is good for running your business, but like I teach them that when you're going out to give an estimate, sometimes they have to put the numbers in the software to get the figure. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no way. I'm never going to allow software to slow me down.
Yeah.
And I need to work with my software, work with my program, but I would never allow something like that to happen where it affects the commission of the salesperson. There's going to be an override or some way to work that out.
Yeah.
You gotta figure that out, because you can't be so stringent on everything. Like I said, where sometimes and when a mistake is made, it's like, hey, throw me some more co-op money, and I can get a couple $1,000 co-op money for asking.
Ah.
And that's the little trick for co-op money. Just ask.
Yeah. Well, for anything,
Ask all the
right?
time.
Just ask.
What's that?
For anything, just ask. I mean,
Right.
worst thing they say is no. Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask for terms, longer terms on it. You can ask for a different way to pay. You can ask for anything. One thing the carpet broker used to do when I was working in his showroom, I have my flooring business or my window covering business in his showroom. And he used to always call and ask for a better price, which you don't do with window coverings. The price is the price.
Yeah.
So that was odd to me when I got in the business, but I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to be asking for a better price all the time. I will when I need it, but that wasn't the game I wanted to play, because I just need to sell the product for more.
Yeah. So that happens typically. What would happen with salespeople or even the owner, depending on how many people that work for him, when they get paid on margin and they get a commission. So they sell it to the person for the price that it's listed. They sell it to the consumer for the price it's listed. And then they call the rep and get a better price, then get a higher commission. So once they do that 2, 3, 4 times, it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to raise your price 50 cents. Because you're
Yeah.
gonna always ask me for 50 cents or whatever it is. So, I mean, that's a game that's played that gets played back to them.
So answer this for me too. And again, this is a question that the guy asked. You've got a dealer that's just doing a ton of business with you, but they're not aligned. So they're not invited to the show. They don't get the same kind of attention. Maybe they do from you. But there are going to be some differences that they recognize, and they're going, hey, how come I don't get this stuff too? How come I don't get these perks? Maybe they don't get any co-op money, but they don't understand. They're not aligned. They didn't commit to the relationship, to the brand.
They can. They can. All they have to do is ask. So they can.
They can
They
go
can
to the
get-
shows. They can.
Well, they don't go to the show, but all they have to do is talk to their rep, talk to their boss, talk to their boss's boss. They can get whatever they ask for. If
Yeah.
they're a big dealer, if they bring in revenue for the manufacturer, they can have anything they want.
Okay, so it's like this.
Not anything. But
If you're single, sitting on the couch waiting for a girl to break into your house and sit down and watch a movie with you is not a good strategy.
correct.
To get a date, you have to ask.
Right.
So if they
That's
ask,
funny.
and that is funny. That's great advice too. And again, though, but they've set up this contentious relationship rather than a good relationship where they talk to them and they ask them, and maybe they're buying their supplies cheaper somewhere else or whatever, but to work with the supplier to get what they want and what they need.
It's really a great analogy because nobody is going to knock on your door and offer things that they don't know you need. Right.
Yeah.
So you might be sitting on your couch. Nobody knows you need a girl or whatever. So they're not going to knock on your door. They don't know you need it.
Well, and I've made the point too with like when co-op money, getting a note when you're falling behind, people go, they do this, yeah, but you have to ask them. You have to be, you got to be a little bit assertive about what you want and don't be a jerk, but talk to the people that you need to talk to get done what you need done.
Yeah.
It is
and you
amazing
turn
what
it a little.
the longer terms on things. It's amazing what they'll do for you, what the mills will do for you if you ask them.
Yeah. But you have to earn it, right? A little bit. So you have to have that relationship. You have to be open. You have to be, clearly on the growth, spectrum. And yeah, that is definitely something that's going to boil down to relationship, because it can absolutely stop dead at the rep level.
Yeah. Oh, these guys loved me when I got into the business because it was a totally different conversation from the one they were used to having and the guy that I got the business from was the carpet broker. He was a broker for many years, and everything about him was price.
Yeah.
And I kept getting sales reps coming in trying to talk about price, and it's like, that's not the conversation I want to have. I want to talk about product positioning, displays, how do we move product better, about marketing. I'm trying to grow a business to 5 million a year here, and I don't want to do that selling cheap stuff, because getting there selling cheap stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, they probably thought you bought the concept as well as the business. So that's why they did that.
They learned really quickly. I didn't.
Yeah.
So the conversations we have are totally different, but it was funny. Anytime a rep would come in the beginning, that was always like the first conversation they wanted to have, because that's what they were used to. Well, we'll go over your pricing and all that. And I said, I do want better pricing, but I want better pricing on good products. So I want to position some high-end products and show a good value, that I can sell you these products for a good price, not cheap stuff. I don't want cheap stuff. We never sold 30-ounce carpet. We never sold something that was cheap. Well, it's funny, we'd get it in once in a while and our people wouldn't sell it. It's like, okay, let's try it out, let's try just for the occasional, the renter or whatever.
Exactly.
And my team would never sell it.
Yep.
They hated
I
it.
to a regular person, no. But if you're flipping a house or, then it's all about price. And for rentals and flipping a house, and they really don't care. They just want a move-in beige. And they want it to look good for, 3 months till they get the house sold.
How often did you visit with your flooring dealers, your accounts? And did you set that up or was it basically on their request?
The dealers?
Yeah.
On the dealer's request? Okay. So when I was with Mohawk, I had a more condensed territory. So I could see everybody on a weekly basis. I could get to everybody. Yeah. So the territory was condensed. With Stanton, I had the entire state of Oregon and Southern Washington. So once a month, I would call on the dealers.
That's really good, actually. And there's a lot of people that haven't seen anybody for a long time.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's people that complain that they haven't seen their rep for months or, so they just don't nurture that. And especially a Mohawk rep may have so many accounts that they're focused on the big ones and the good ones and the ones they have a good relationship with.
It's called low hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, and those are the ones that they want to go in and see. And then you got some that don't want you to come in, that say, hey, I only want you to come in once in a while, schedule it.
Yeah, there are some that, I don't, you cannot drop in. I will not see you. You must have an appointment and you must make it 4 weeks in advance. And that's fine. There are some times that you really need to drop in to pull drops. It's like, well, we had a drop last week and you sold it, but you wouldn't let me come in. So you pull drops, you clean things up, you talk to the salespeople, see if you can help them. You don't always need to speak to the dealer.
Right. Right. Do you ever have them that don't want you to speak to the salespeople? Like they don't want you to talk directly to the salespeople?
No, but I have been in a retail situation that did not want reps talking to me. I mean, that was just blew my mind. It wasn't the owner. It was like some kind of a manager, whatever. But if the reps don't talk to you, how are you going to learn? I mean, I didn't get it. Egos, sometimes it's ego.
Right. Well, sometimes they don't want you to know the wholesale price too, or they don't want you to know certain information. And which, again,
well, that's a conversation that the dealer needs to have with the rep as well. That's that setup. That's that initial conversation. And I always ask about that. Can your salespeople know the cost? I always ask that because I never want to cross their rules.
Yeah. So the two things I wish that the flooring suppliers would do is create better displays that attract people to their products without it being about the price, and make it easier to position and sell the product.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these products have benefits and features on them that customers aren't looking for. So I had the argument with Mohawk one time about ounce weights, where the sales, the supplier's rep said, that's not important. It doesn't determine quality. And I said, well, for customers, it's easy to see that a 50 ounce is better than a 40 ounce. Okay. It's easy to distinguish quality and get them in to a higher price. And one thing I've always noticed, people don't go to the middle. People go to the highest. Generally, when you display 3 ounce weights, people tend to buy the most expensive one. And if you price things right, you can sell them the most expensive one at the middle price. So you can really get them into that without giving them a discount.
Well, actually, as far as just talking about a regular cut pile nylon or whatever, the best ounce weight is between 38 and 48. Under 38, you're not selling quality, and over 48, you're just paying for fiber. So, and then at that point, you just sell them the best pad that you can possibly put in their home.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm more worried about the customer's perception than
True. That's true.
reality. And it's not to
Yep.
be dishonest or anything, but you make it easy to make a buying decision for a customer. And when you show them a higher ounce weight, that has value for them.
And it feels better, right? You put your fingers in it and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah,
feels.
right. So, I mean, we had 100 ounce from Shaw, and I know you probably had that with Stanton, right? You probably got some pretty,
We got some, well, when you get into the really beefy things, and with Stanton, they're gonna be woven, so they're not measured really.
okay.
But yes, we did, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just beautiful carpet, beautiful design. So,
Yeah.
all right.
But
So,
hear you say that also that you wish that the suppliers would do is help you sell the product in the PK. You don't need all of these facts and figures, then
yeah.
whatever. How do I sell your product? So I've heard that a couple of times now, to the point where it's something that I'm working on as a plan to, to make a PK about that.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. So, trying to sell a higher end product. I wish more manufacturers reps would take my sales training program. They would understand a little bit more about how the dealer works, how they can help the dealer work, so they could get that kind of sales training that teaches them how to teach their dealer and just pass that information along or help get them set up. I need to get in with like Mohawk or Shaw to do that,
Yeah.
or anybody that wants to, help that's the play I would make as a supplier. I would really go in, I would have much better signage. I would have a better story. I would create flyers, not brochures, that help you explain the product in a way that helps sell the product. So it all starts with beauty and looks first. You want people to fall in love with how it looks. And then you can go through some of the other benefits, and some of it's that process about how you're going to deliver it, how you're going to install it. Are you moving the furniture? What's the full experience going to be like?
Yeah.
Take it, whatever you do that's ordinary, and make it extraordinary, and the customers will value it so much more.
Yeah. Or
So,
even reps could spend a day on the floor or go out on an install, or I mean, very few reps have been on the retail side. So it takes a long time to grasp what their issues actually are.
yeah, and that's part of the challenge too, because you're looking at that rep as an expert when they don't really know what that sales is like to the retail,
Yeah.
and they're going off of it. A lot of times the people they're dealing with are installers, they're experts in the flooring industry. So they want all these details that really don't matter too. And that's something that I work on training them on, is how do you really sell, and trying to train them on, I'm sorry, the stuff isn't as important as you think it is
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
customer. It's like, why is this product not good? Do I need an explanation of why this product is not good? Or should I say, I love that product, it's gorgeous, we just don't carry it because we haven't had good luck with it and it hasn't held up well. I don't need to know about the core, or I don't need to know all that information to give that story to a customer.
Right.
And tell them that we don't carry that particular product for these reasons. And are you open to anything else? Because I'd love to show you something that's going to work better for you in your situation. And asking permission to show them something else usually helps get them to show something else.
Yeah. And make sure they come in your store so that you can build that rapport with them that the other person obviously didn't, that's, all their shopping is price.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite story is somebody that came in from Home Depot looking for $2 a square foot carpet.
Yeah.
I ended up selling them something for $6.50 a square foot. But,
yeah,
somebody asked, how many stores do you think people go in and shop before making a decision? And as many as it takes for them to feel comfortable. And they're not price shopping. Even if they come in asking for a certain price, that may not be their agenda. That was set at the last store. But there are ways to overcome that if you're trained and prepared how to answer their questions properly. And that's how I got that person to buy. I'm not a slick salesperson. It's, hey, tell me about the project. What are you working on?
Yeah,
You know, a master bedroom carpet, that a home that they're going to live in. I'm not going to sell you something for $2 a square foot. It's not going to last.
yeah,
You're going to hate it. But let's look at some flooring and see what you think. And let me give you a price. And they fell in love with the carpet.
yeah.
Wanted something a little bit cheaper, didn't like the thing that was a little bit cheaper, paid more money and got what they loved.
Sometimes when you show them, the different qualities, they walk themselves back to the better qualities, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
everybody will spend more money than they planned on
Hmm.
to get what they want. We do
Yeah.
it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, anything you want to say to wrap it up? We'll talk again when you get launched. I want to hear about what you got and what you got going on, and
All right.
a little more about your business. So let me know when you get that launched, and especially the people in your area, we can let them know and get you out there.
Oh, I'll let them know.
Hit the
You
ground
don't worry
running.
about that.
I know you will.
Right now I'm working on, just yourflooringrep.com, and that's my blog. And that's where I'm just going to share whatever comes into my mind that I think that maybe the retailer doesn't know, or the salespeople. And they can certainly contact me if there's a topic that they want researched, or that they need more information on. But it sounds like how to sell your product is a good start, and that's going to be a blog on
Yeah,
how to sell the manufacturer's product and what to get from the manufacturer in order to be able to do that.
yeah. All right, great.
Thank you for that.
I'm going to close out the show. Thanks for coming on.
I really appreciate it,
Tess,
Sherry.
and
you.
so, hey guys, thanks for joining the Flooring Business Podcast. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one discovery call for your flooring business, where we can review where you're at and how you can increase sales and profits by over 30%, go to jerrylevinson.com. And there's a free assessment in there where you can score your business and see what areas that need the most improvement. So have a great, profitable week and have an excellent 2023.